This is involving a college star who was on his way to the NFL, alleged to be involved in a traffic collision that took the life of another person. There's some new evidence that's come out that's saying that the young man was not involved in the traffic collision as we all suspected.
He was back in his lane of travel, 92.3 yards behind Mr. Hall.
We're going to watch this domestic dispute that these officers responded to last year.
Let me see your hands! No! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out!
That suspect reaches into another room and grabs a young child and holds him at hostage point with a knife. You can see his immediate, rawest, realest reaction the moment he recognizes what happened.
No! 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 No!
LAPD, probably one of the most active police departments in our country. But man, I saw this video and I was just like, wow. Let's take a look. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Ryan Tillman Show. Before we get started, I just want to tell you guys, thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. And if you could do me a huge favor to help grow this channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and most importantly, turn on that notification bell, because when you guys do that, it helps us go up in the algorithm so that way more people can be educated on not just law enforcement stuff, but how we bridge divides within our society. Now, let's just jump right into it today because, man, we got ourselves a show today. We're going to watch this domestic dispute that these officers responded to last year, and I just got to tell you, it's hard to watch. And obviously, for the sake of YouTube, it will be blurred out, so just keep that in mind. But there's a point in why I'm showing this video. So let's get into it. Let's watch.
On March 16th, 2024, just after 10 p.m., officers with the Macomb Police Department in Illinois were dispatched to an apartment complex following multiple reports of a woman screaming. The nature of the disturbance was unclear, but callers indicated it was still actively unfolding. With limited information and urgency rising, officers advanced toward the apartment complex. Unknown to them at the time, the horrific events about to unfold would change their lives forever.
Central 113, 1060. Not. Change the lock on these.
Macomb Police, open the door. Huh? Macomb Police, open the door. Huh? Let me see your hands! Let me see your hands!
Okay, so before we actually get to them breaking entry into that house, the officers responded to this domestic dispute. As they're going up the stairs, they see blood on the walls. That's a hint. That tells them that, hey, something is going south very, very quickly. I actually saw reports that they had actually no knowledge that somebody was possibly stabbed. The moment they start to hear this screaming, that's when they have to kick it into a second gear because time is of the essence. Let's get back to it.
Oh, fuck! No, 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 no! No!
We need lifeguard. We need lifeguard now. We have one kid down, one adult male down.
What do you need, Jake? We gotta go security.
So 113, contact 105, 116.
All right, let me get you caught up on what we just seen. And when I watch this, it makes me so angry. It infuriates me. Not because of the officer's actions by any means, but because of the selfish suspect that put the officer and that child and everybody else in danger. When those officers made entry into that room, they saw a victim, the woman who had been stabbed. It was obvious signs that she had been stabbed. Then the officer turns the corner and he sees a suspect. That suspect reaches into another room, an adjacent room, and grabs a young child and holds him at a hostage point with a knife. And at this moment in time, that officer has to make a split-second decision, and he chooses to utilize deadly force in order to stop that threat. Unfortunately, in the process, he unalives that child as well as that suspect. And you can see his immediate, rawest, realest reaction the moment he recognizes what happened. This is so sad and is so heartbreaking because that suspect, being as selfish as he is, put so many people in a compromising position. And now this officer and all the other people on this scene have to live with this for the rest of their life, that they took that innocent baby's life. I remember when this video first went live, and I remember seeing it, and there was so much controversy, and everybody was pointing and saying, shame on the officer, but nobody was saying shame on the suspect for putting them in that situation. Let's continue to watch some of this video because you can see the emotion that continues to spiral out of control for the officer, rightfully so, but then it gets worse when the family members show up and they're requesting to see their nephew.
You're all right. You want to go down with us?
But I need my baby. I need my baby.
Okay, I need you to sit down. Go around back.
Hey, are you good?
No, I'm not.
Do you want me to stick with you? Talk to me, brother. Are they secure there?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to hang out with you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'm right here with you, okay? You want to sit or you want to keep it? You want to stand? Hey. Hey. Listen. Hey, look at me. Look at me. Decisions were made that were out of your control, okay? You did what you did. I don't know what happened, okay? So I don't want to go into it. But listen, trust that you made the right call, okay? To protect you and yours, okay? Don't question your judgment. Don't do that to yourself. You can't control what other people do and the decisions that they make. Know that. Know that whatever happened, you acted with your training and experience, okay? And you had to handle things, okay? Sir, can I, hold on. Where you headed?
Who's involved? You? Okay. Anybody else here?
Yeah.
Not anybody else with you at the time?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. What's going on?
Domestic here.
113 Central.
So just so you're aware, anytime an officer-involved shooting occurs, when the arriving investigating officers get on scene, there's not really much they're going to ask the person who pulled the trigger just because it's an ongoing investigation. And typically they treat it as a homicide or an attempted homicide investigation, justifiable homicide. But that means that they really can't say much. The only questions that they can typically ask is, how many rounds did you shoot? In which direction did you shoot? Is the suspect down? And are there any outstanding victims or any outstanding suspects? Those are the only questions they could ask, because at that point in time, that officer is going to need to get his attorney involved. So the reason I bring that up is because I want you to understand that's why you're not hearing a lot of questioning from his partners. But number two, this is one of the hardest things for officers to deal with. And I know this as being someone involved in an officer-involved shooting, is when that situation happens, you can't talk to anybody. And so you have so much going on in your mind. And the last thing that you need to do is go into isolation and just be thinking and what if and all this other stuff. stuff, but yet you can't talk and share with anybody else because it could compromise everything else. This officer, I feel so bad for him and everybody else that was involved, especially obviously the family of that little boy.
Go ahead.
Go ahead for 113.
116, 550 is wanting to know if there's any more medical attention needed at the scene.
I honestly don't know. I withdrew myself from it, so I know Kiana Miller had been stabbed, and then I shot the suspect and the baby.
Wait. I'm getting here late. You shot the suspect?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's have a seat now. Here, come on to my car. All right, here, have a seat here, man.
This is still running.
The car? Oh, yeah. All right. How many shots you fired, remember? Okay. Let me just hang tight right here, and let me find out what's going on. And you said the suspect was hit and a baby? Okay. Let me find out what's going on. Sit tight. Is there anybody in the apartment now? Do we know?
As far as
Police?
Yeah.
Okay. Sit tight. I'm going to run inside there. Is 9:15
Go around the back.
Okay. Sorry.
So clearly they're just arriving on scene. They don't know what happened. And you can hear the officer, I think the other partner was on scene. She's breaking down, crying. I mean, this is just horrific. This is every officer's worst nightmare. Nothing that they can imagine. And the reason I share this with you is because I want you to understand that a lot of times officers are demonized and they're made to seem like they're robots and they don't have hearts and they don't care about the people that they serve, but they truly do. And it's evident when you see videos like this. And the mere fact that they were scrutinized for this is unacceptable. Now, obviously, these officers were found that they were justified in doing what they did as far as it relates to the use of force with the suspect, and there was no criminal charges filed against them for the death of that young little boy. But it's just a tragic situation. The last thing I want to show is I want to give you guys a little bit of history about this suspect, because I think this also plays an important part of what we just watched.
Both the suspect, 57-year-old Anthony George, and the 4-year-old victim, Terrell Miller, were pronounced dead at the scene. When officers entered, Kyana Miller, Terrell's mother, was covered in blood, having been stabbed multiple times. Anthony George was holding a knife when Officer Gock ordered him to drop it. George then grabbed Terrell, holding a knife to the child's throat. Officer Gock fired a single round, striking both George and Terrell, instantly killing them both. George had an extensive criminal history and had previously pleaded guilty to murder in 1995. His most recent charge was for domestic battery in November 2023. Internal investigations concluded that the shooting was justified and did not violate.
At what point are we going to stop letting violent people out on these streets? At what point? I think that's why I'm so angry, is because this guy should have been locked up. And because he wasn't, somebody else lost their life. His son lost his life because he wasn't behind bars. I'm all about rehabilitation for criminals, but I'm also about being tough on crime and saying, hey, look, enough is enough. And if you're a violent person and you have a violent, extensive history and haven't proven that you're a different person, you don't need to be on the street. So anyways, my heart goes out to this family. My heart goes out to the officers involved. Just a tragedy all around. What I want to do now is I want to move on to another case that has been going viral lately. And this is involving a college star who was on his way to the NFL. But why it's going viral is because there's some new evidence that's come out that's saying that the young man was not involved in the traffic collision as we all suspected.
Yeah, so what you'll see is in the top left of the screen, you're going to see multiple cars just making their way south to Thibodeau, coming from Vacherie. At some point in time, you're going to see the collision, which we're going to know is vehicle number 2 from oncoming traffic colliding with the vehicle of Mr. Hall. You will see another vehicle come to a stop, and then you'll see Kyren Lacy come to a stop.
So as we've seen the video, it looks like the impact happens, and then Kyren Lacy is behind him. How far away was he from there?
Well, yeah, that's the beauty of the investigative report that I now have my hands on. We know from data that Kyren Lacy did in fact pass 4 course. There's no disputing that. Further north, Kyren Lacy passed 4 course. However, he was back in his lane of travel, 92.3 yards. Back in his lane, behind Mr. Hall. At the time of impact, he's 72.6 yards behind the vehicles at the time of impact. Keyword, behind the vehicles. That is not how this story was ever painted. Never.
Any part of the district attorney's investigation that talked about Mr. Lacy getting back, I guess we call it, what do you call it, correcting or getting in your proper lane?
Sure, he was back in his proper lane according to their data. This isn't my expert. This is the investigation of the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office. So I'm here simply comparing and contrasting the District Attorney's Office with state police in this matter, their investigations. And in that investigation.
So the reason why this is so interesting is because in the initial report, they were saying that his driving is what's caused the accident that we just witnessed. And now Kyren's car, the young star, he was driving that green vehicle. Now, his attorney is saying at the time that this all occurred, when the collision actually occurred, he was around 72 yards back. That's pretty significant. And the reason it's significant is because it would go to show, like, his vehicle is not what caused this collision. But the way they painted it initially was that he's the one that caused the collision, and ultimately he was going to be on the hook for this homicide investigation as it related to this traffic collision. And so nobody really knew any of this information initially. Everybody started painting this young star as a bad guy, a bad kid. He caused somebody to die. The kid actually lost his spot on the team. He pretty much started losing everything leading up to this. Now, again, the traffic pursuit that he was involved in after this was unrelated, and I don't even know if it's, mentally he was just unstable at this time and that's why he fled. I don't know, and I'm not here to actually bring up that pursuit. I'm just here to talk about this traffic collision investigation, because there's a lot of people that have been sending it to me saying, what's going on here? Are the officers wrong or are they in the right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back. The video we're about to watch now is the investigating officer interviewing a witness and asking this witness about the traffic collision. But it's pretty interesting because the way the officer conducts the interrogation is what's raising eyebrows.
So, look, don't worry about filling any of this top information, like your name, your address. Don't worry about any of that. Just right here, if you could, I'll just have you write exactly what you saw. Just make sure to include, where you were.
I don't even know what the name of that highway.
It's Highway 20. Highway 20. That you just.
All right, maybe my wife gonna figure out right.
Okay, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes, and the brakes, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger, and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
I ain't speed my car, because I wasn't even going for it. That lady in the back of me, she didn't know what was happening. That's how she called that record. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side, and she's not in it.
So, but the charger was coming right at you, correct? And that's why you had to slam on your brake, the head on with you. So yeah, just make sure you include that, and that's very important because we're trying to locate this charger right now. So just include that in the statement, and I'll read it over, and then I'll be out of here.
In that video, you can clearly hear the suggestive nature indicating that I need you to say that you had to slam on your brakes and you had to avoid a charger.
Okay, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes, and the brakes, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger, and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
Now, typically, I don't always go along with defense attorneys just because I know in my line of work, sometimes defense attorneys are out there just trying to, it's like a game between you and the prosecution. So I don't typically go along with them. But the defense attorney is raising a good point here. The way the officer is conducting this investigation, he's asking or making suggestive statements to tell that witness, this is what I need you to say. And the way that looks, at least to it, what it would look like to a jury, is like the officer told him exactly what to write. Now, the reason why I'm not completely committed to what's going on or what we're watching in this is because what we haven't seen yet, and is may exist as may not exist, is if there a point in time where the officer initially talked to this witness and that witness is the one that said exactly what the officer's regurgitating, and now the officer's just telling him, make sure you write what you told me initially. I'm not saying that's what's happened, so don't mix my words up. I'm just saying that would be the only justification as to why he would make that statement the way he did. But if that's not what occurred before this, then that officer is completely wrong. You see, as officers, it's not our job to go there and put words in people's mouths. I've seen it before, but it's not good practice. And it's not good practice for reasons exactly like this. Because when you start having people fill in the voids that are not accurate or real, then innocent people can get caught in the crosshairs, and it appears that Kyren Lacy was that innocent person. Now, this is all new developing news, and so I don't know which direction this investigation is going to take. But if that officer did not have any initial statements with that witness, and what we're seeing in this video is the only thing that happened, and that officer was giving him suggestive verbiage to utilize in this report, then the officer is going to be wrong, and it's a tragedy because this young man ended up unaliving himself, and it's my belief that a lot of it was probably related to this. I mean, think about it. You're a 23, 24-year-old kid, you're involved, or you're told that you're the one that caused this collision that took the life of an elderly person. You're getting ready to go to the NFL. You have your whole life ahead of you, but now because of this incident, you now potentially not only lose your scholarship, but also lose your draft status, and who knows the chain of events that come on after this. I'm not saying that this is what happened specifically just because this thing is not finalized. A lot of this stuff is literally coming out within the last few days. But what I do recognize is that fact that there is more that meets the eye to this investigation. I'm going to play a little bit more to what the attorney is saying, and then we're going to move on to the next video. But as this video or as this investigation continues to develop, I'll make sure I keep you guys abreast of it. Let's watch what the attorney has to say for the rest of it.
But then you hear Gold Truck, the witness who's the Gold Truck, what he says. And he says verbatim.
I ain't scared my partner because I wasn't even going for it. That lady in the back of me, she is always happening. That's how she called that record. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side. And that's not in it.
I didn't skid marked or nothing because I wasn't even going that fast. That lady in the back of me, she didn't see what's happening. That's how she caused that wreck. She was going to run into the back of me, and she pulled into the other side. But there's a bigger problem. I then obtained the actual written statement.
And this is from the Gold Truck.
This is the Gold Truck. Now, after the statement we just went through, notice, I've obviously redacted names, addresses, and the cell phone number in fairness to the individual who is Gold Truck number one in oncoming traffic. See, the problem with that statement is it is in direct contravention to what was said minutes earlier. It's not written by him, and where it says signed, it's not signed, it's refused. But you see, when I have a witness who is the most critical, and he's telling you, I wasn't traveling fast. We know now that he wasn't. The data shows 2.99 seconds before that he was traveling 28 miles an hour. The data shows that. Now he corroborates that. And he goes on to say, I didn't even make a skid mark. That woman behind me, she caused that accident. And you give me this statement that is refused? I got a problem. I got a problem with that. A big one.
You see, this right here is why honesty and integrity in the professional law enforcement is one of the most important qualities that officers need to have. Because when you go on investigations, it's your job to hear the information and write down and transcribe the information exactly how it's told to you. And if you have to fill in gaps here and there to make sure that it's accurate, then go and question some more witnesses or whatever it may be. But it's not our job to go out there and make stuff up. And again, I'm not saying that that's what the officer did just yet, because we have not got a final verdict. And I only do that in fairness to the officer, because it is my intention to make sure that we're fair all the way around. And the moment they do a thorough investigation and they determine this officer is wrong, then by all means, I'll come out and say he was wrong through and through. I am saying that everything on the surface right now appears to be going that direction, but we have to be fair to him just as much as we would be fair to anybody else. But like I said, if I'm talking to officers, if you're an officer out there, this is why honesty and integrity is so important. And I remember, as you know, I've taken thousands of reports, and sometimes it felt like, man, this is mundane, or sometimes I got to go back and get another statement because something is not adding up. Even if it takes you another extra minute or extra 20 minutes or extra hour, extra few days to complete your report just so it's accurate and thorough, just do it. I've been there times where, you know, you want to take shortcuts because you just want to tie a bow on this, but it's not right. And it's not right because you could be putting somebody innocent behind bars, or more or worse, causing someone to take their own life because they've gone off the deep end because they believe their life is over. And that's what appears this investigation is on the surface. But there is going to be more to come out. So I want to know what you guys think about this case in the comments below. Tell me what you guys think. That way, and I'll do another video about it, because I do honestly want to know, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think the officer was wrong? Do you think he was right? Or do you think that there's other information that we're just not hearing yet? All right, let's move on to the last video. This last video, man, you talk about crazy. Now, LAPD is probably one of the most active police departments in our country. But man, I saw this video and I was just like, wow, let's take a look. Now, this first part of the video, this guy right here, he's a suspect. He was seen brandishing an officer, and officers are on directed patrol. Looks outside, looks like they're outside this little mini mart. So there's guys hanging out. You can see the LAPD vehicle roll up. They see this guy. They see that he possibly has a firearm located. So they're gonna get ready to go and do like a pedestrian check on this guy who's in the store now. The first minute or two, you're not going to be able to hear the audio. And the way this works, and I'll kind of talk you guys through it, why you guys don't hear the audio, is audio doesn't actually start recording until you hit the record button. So at this point in time, the officers probably didn't hit their record button. But the reason why we're able to see this footage is because once you hit that record button, typically that video will either go back 30 seconds, 60 seconds, or sometimes 2 minutes. And I believe in this case, it was 2 minutes. So it'll go backwards 2 minutes to show you the things that led up to it, but you're not going to have the audio. So that's why you don't hear the audio right now. But as these officers are talking to him, they're talking to this guy who they believe is armed with a weapon. And after, you know, the audio kicks in, that's when this thing is just going to go bananas. One of the scariest things to do in our profession is to talk to people that you know might possibly be armed, especially when you don't know what their intentions are. So let's watch the rest of this, you know, muted part, and let's watch what happens once it kicks on.
I don't have no weapons,
just relax.
sir.
Just relax.
Hey,
Just calm down, son. Just calm down.
Hold on.
It's good. Get out, get out. Get back. Three shots fired off, so Jefferson and Ninth Ave.
I don't have no weapons,
Just relax.
sir.
Just relax. Just calm down, son. Just calm down.
Hold on.
It's good. Get out. Get back.
Now, I don't know if you guys are able to catch it from this angle. And initially, when I watched the first body cam, I couldn't tell where the round came from. I couldn't tell if it was the officer that shot first or the suspect, but it appears to be the suspect. He turns that corner and he starts firing some rounds off at the officer. Now, he takes a round to the arm, and you're going to be able to see a little bit of it because there's some blood splatter on the ground as those officers flee out the door.
Come out.
Get back. Suspect's gonna be a male, black over black. He's gonna be running eastbound on Jefferson from 9th Ave. Hey, you! Hey! Sir! Hey, I got one right here at the red vehicle. Hey, he's behind the red car. Hey, I see you! Put your hands up!
So now this part of the video is several minutes after that initial exchange of fire happened. They're still searching for the suspect. He's now on foot. So now they pulled up. They got other officers that are coming their way, and they're still looking for the guy.
You! Hey! Sir! Hey, I got one right here at the red vehicle. Hey, he's behind the red car. Hey, I see you! Put your hands up! Yeah.
Unit who put out a suspect in the East-West Valley, come on. 3-1, it was...
Hands up! I'm getting stepped over. Turn away. Hands on top of your head. Hands on top of your head. Stop. 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 Turn around. All right. Turn around. Turn around.
Turn around.
Here.
He's not being detained. They weren't able to make contact.
What do you want, 7th?
7th, south of 3rd, 30.
2871. I have a possible suspect in custody.
So they end up taking this suspect into custody. He's later charged with the attempted murder of police officers. Obviously, you can see he was injured. He took around by those officers. But, man, could you imagine being in a gas station and this just happens right in front of you? That was wild stuff. But some key things to note. When officers walk up on people that are potentially armed, it's difficult because you don't know what their next move is. You don't know if they're a lawful, law-abiding citizen who has a CCW and they're able to carry, or you don't know if this is a person that's not going back to jail and they're ready to go and do exactly what we just witnessed in this video. Law enforcement is a very, very unpredictable job, and because of that, we have to learn how to pick up on pre-incident indicators that give us whatever advantages we can have. That's why I always say training is so important. And what are pre-incident indicators? Those are things that are telling you that something might go south. In the beginning of this video, you can tell when they were talking to him, he's stalling. He doesn't stand up. The normal person at this point in time would stand up, start looking at the officers, put their hands out. Hey, I don't have any problems. The mere fact that he's still in the position that he's in, not really going with what the officers are telling him to do, that's telling me that he's trying to connive a plan or contrive a plan of escape or a plan to try to go on the full assault of these officers. These officers do a phenomenal job at stopping the threat, getting him into custody, but more important, going home to their families at night. So today was some crazy videos. There's no shortage of craziness in the professional law enforcement. But what I do want to do is I do want to thank the men and women that serve our communities every single day, because you guys put your life on the line so that way we can sleep peacefully. But I also want to thank all of my subscribers out there. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel, liking our videos, and sharing our videos. All I want to do is educate the public about why we do and what goes on in policing. So do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you haven't already, turn on the notification bell so that way you guys get access to the next video that drops. Take care. I'll see you guys on the next one, and God bless.